Hey fellas, this is Johnny and welcome to the channel. So have you ever wondered how to build confidence and self-esteem? This is a topic that I struggled with for a long time and it took me forever to figure it out. I actually read some books and didn't really help me out, and it took me a long time to get to a mentorship where I actually made some progress on self-esteem and on confidence, and it was just incredible, and the world just opened up for me, a whole different world. So put this together for you guys. This is 5 tips for building confidence and self-esteem. So let's get into it. Self-esteem and confidence are all about 3 things, and they are self-trust, self-love, and self-forgiveness. Those are the 3 big components. And that was very eye-opening to me when I first jumped in. So number 1 on the list is going to be that it starts with self-love and forgiveness. So I wouldn't have guessed this. When I was growing up, I didn't give myself any self-love, right? And I never let myself off the hook. And I never forgave myself, that's for sure. I always thought I needed to do more. I needed to work harder. I needed to achieve more to be worthy of anything. And this usually comes from childhood trauma. And they actually say that high achievers are actually very well defined as having specific childhood trauma. It doesn't have to be a massive trauma, but somewhere you felt like you had to do more. You had to do extraordinary things to get love. And this is usually where low self-esteem comes from, is thinking that we're not good enough the way we are. We need to do more, be more, accomplish things in order to receive love. And that's usually where this comes from. And the big thing about that is that a huge component of self-esteem and confidence is actually forgiveness and self-love, which I never would have guessed. And it's a really powerful thing. For me, this actually hit when I did my first guided meditation that had gratification in it, and it asked me to identify one thing that I loved about myself, and I just broke down in tears on the plane. It was crazy. I was actually sitting right in front of some coworkers that were behind me, just randomly, and just broke down in tears next to a random stranger. And I gotta tell you, it was one of the most beneficial things that's ever happened in my life. Super embarrassing at the moment, but oh my God, what a release. And I realized I never gave myself any self-love or self-forgiveness. I never forgave myself for any of my mistakes. And that is actually a huge key. And I never would have guessed that. So really confident folks that walk around and just are really aware of who they are, really comfortable in their own skin, which is one way I really like to think about confidence, is they actually forgive themselves for their mistakes, and they have love for who they are. They actually love who they are. And I can tell you, I love who I am now. That was not the case a few years ago. It was the biggest part of my transformation, is when I actually started loving myself and forgiving myself for mistakes. My whole world changed. It was just amazing. So it starts with self-love and with self-forgiveness. And we can do this in a bunch of different ways. To that point, I'm actually going to host a free live webinar where we're going to dive deeper into these topics. So if this resonates with you and you want to go deeper, and this seems like it could be life-changing for you like it was for me, and you want more details on how to actually do this, how to apply it in your life, just look at the link below in the description, and that will have all the details for how to sign up for the free webinar. We'll go super deep. It'll be value added, I promise you. I love this stuff, and I hope you'll join me on that journey. So check it out. So first step starts with self-love and self-forgiveness. And if you can be easier on yourself, then you're going to have more confidence. You're going to think more of yourself and have self-love, which is amazing. Number 2, take others and yourself off of the pedestal. So a lot of my clients actually come for me because they have a hard time attracting ladies or connecting with ladies or whatever, or they're scared to death of women and they really just want a life partner, and they cannot approach a girl and talk to her because they don't have a lot of self-esteem and a lot of confidence. One big reason for this is that they put women, specifically for these clients, but others, on a pedestal. They think that they are way above where they are. They think, oh, I would be so lucky if I could go talk to this beautiful woman. Or I'd be so lucky if I actually got this promotion. I'd be so lucky if I actually got this assignment or work or whatever. And a lot of times they would just chalk up their accomplishments, the good things that are going on in their life, to luck. They actually would not resonate that they actually got these achievements based on their value as a person. And that's actually one big component of imposter syndrome, if you heard about that, is that you can't resonate with your achievements. They aren't internalized. You think it's just, oh, external circumstances, I just got lucky or whatever. But a big challenge around that is taking others off the pedestal. And so for me, I was working on myself a ton. I was trying to get better. I was trying to grow. And I wasn't making a ton of progress in the realm of comparing myself to others, which is bad in itself. But what I realized was I can never get there because I put everybody else on the pedestal. I thought every business owner knew so much that I didn't know, and I would never be able to start my business until I knew these 100 different things. And then I found out that most business owners don't know what they're doing. They just had some sort of skill or passion. They started, and they made a bunch of mistakes along the way. Same thing with construction. I got into real estate investing in a first house. I freaked out when I got into my first investment. I thought, there's no way I can do this. I don't know what I'm doing at all. And when I actually got into some rehab work and I lost my partner after the second day after I signed my contract, I had to do some of this work I had no idea how to do. And so I hired these guys and I was like, I got to pay them to do it. And when I watched them do it, I was like, well, how do you know you're going about doing this? And they're like, I don't know what I'm going to fix until I open up the wall. I don't know how I'm going to fix it until I start doing it. And I realized that I put everybody on this pedestal. I thought everybody had a secret I didn't know about. I thought everybody was doing so well all the time. I thought everybody just had these components, these values that I didn't have. And when you really start to connect with people and you're open and honest and you start hearing the stories, you'll see that most people are carrying around burdens that you have no idea about. Most people are actually, have low self-esteem issues or are not completely confident or have 100 different things that they're worried about all the time. And for me, that really helps me understand that it's okay that I make mistakes. That's okay that I haven't everything figured out yet. I don't have to be perfect because nobody else is either. And so I could never get to that place where I felt fully actualized and fully confident until I took everybody else off that pedestal. And that includes yourself. So if you take others off that pedestal and know that everybody's just working on their own stuff, we're all just wounded creatures trying to do the best we can every day. When you realize that, the bar comes down a little bit and you don't have to get to these massive achievements. You don't have to be perfect all the time. And that lets you lower the bar for you a little bit and give yourself some love for exactly where you're at, rather than only when you're perfect. And that is a huge, huge accomplishment. So tip 3, affirmations. So I don't know if you've heard of affirmations before, but essentially they're just positive statements about yourself, about maybe who you are or who you would like to be. And it's just done in the tone of it's already happened. So one of them is, I'm a strong, sexy leader of men, and people love what I have to say. And that one just feels so good for me because at the time I was struggling with strength and I didn't know if I could be a leader and I didn't know if people valued what I had to say. And so that affirmation, as I repeated that every morning as part of the morning routine that we do in the Lion's Tail, every morning I would repeat that mantra over and over and over. And at first it felt really weird. This is what affirmations do. They feel really strange. They feel like that's not true. That's not me. And it feels weird. And you say it, and it's like, I don't believe it. And then you say it again, I don't believe it. And you say it again. And then after the 7th, 8th, 9th time, it starts to be like, well, maybe it could be true. Maybe there is some truth to that. And then maybe you start seeing evidence of that in your outside world. And then after about 21 days, that's how long it usually takes to build a habit, about 21 days, you forget that it's not true. And it just becomes a part of your reality. And when you read those words, that's just who you are. And so now I feel like I'm a strong, sexy leader of men. And people can't wait to hear what I have to say next. And now when you believe that, when you've actually heard that, when you actually program your subconscious mind day after day after day, you start to see evidence of it in the world. It's called the reticular activating system, and we'll go into that into another video. But this part of your brain searches for what you believe to be true. So you'll start seeing evidence of this new belief out in your world. So that's the power of affirmations. If it feels weird when you first do these, don't worry about it. That's normal. After a few weeks, this will start to become more and more normal, and it will actually start to change the way that you see the world, which is incredibly powerful. Okay, number 4, learning lessons and then moving on. So here's one big thing. A friend of mine, I asked him, he's just calm, collected, and just has good days almost every day. And I asked him, like, how is it? You can have failures in your life and it doesn't affect you. You're still having a great day. How do you go forward on projects that scare you, that you don't know all the details, that there's some unknown, there's some level of risk, whatever, and you're still just cool, calm, and collected? How do you do that? And he told me the big thing is Everybody's going to make mistakes. There's no worries there. He just learns the lesson that the mistakes teach him, and he lets the rest go. And that's the big thing. Everybody talks about learning from their mistakes. And that's a key component, right? You make a mistake, you want to learn the lesson. But that's not the end of it. You have to learn the lesson, and then you have to let the rest of that mistake go. Yeah, I made a mistake. I learned what I needed to. I'm okay with this. It's in the past now. And that last piece is the key to really successful people, because there are mistakes to be made everywhere. Guaranteed, whatever you're pursuing right now, you're going to make a mistake soon. Somehow, some way, you're going to make a mistake in some part. And you can learn the lesson, and if you can let it go, if you can let that mistake go afterwards, that's where it stops pulling you backwards into the past and allows you to move forward. The really successful folks have mastered this concept of learning the lesson and letting the rest go, because it doesn't pull them backwards anymore. It allows them to spring forward. This one is massive, and I would challenge you, when you make your next mistake, just write out, what was the lesson I needed to learn from this? And then just let yourself be at peace and say, you know what, I made this mistake, I learned the lesson, I'm okay with it, and move forward. It is so relieving. It'll give you so much more confidence in yourself, because you're not worried about everything you did in the past that was wrong. You're worried about what you get to do next and what's in the future, which is just an amazing feeling. So definitely do not skip this one. And step 5, doing uncomfortable things. This one is massive. So we talk a lot about morning routines and doing hard things early in the morning in a lion's tail. And one big thing is doing hard and uncomfortable things build up your resilience. They make you feel accomplished. They show you what you're capable of, and they allow you to build trust within yourself. So a lot of things we do is like we do cold showers. We do where you have to jump into a freezing shower in the morning even though you don't want to, and you do it even though you don't want to, and you overcome yourself, and it allows yourself to build self-trust and know what you're capable of. And once you start being able to trust yourself, others will be able to trust you as well. We also do social freedom exercises where we go out in public and we do super embarrassing things when we do our transformation workshops. And we go out and we'll ask folks if we can try their food, at a restaurant. And we'll do all kinds of crazy things. And it just shows you that you can go out there and do these things that really scare you, and nothing big is going to come from it. And when you have that feeling, when you realize that you can actually do so much more than you thought you could, your world just opens up, and it makes you overcome all these beliefs that are holding you back, right? And you actually start to stack wins. So as you go do these things that are hard, you will feel accomplished afterwards, and that gives you momentum. Like Tony Robbins talks about building momentum being a key to confidence and achievement. The more you do uncomfortable things, the more you do things that are hard, the more you do things that you thought you couldn't do, you just start to stack this momentum, and you grow and grow and grow, and you feel so accomplished and capable of so much. It's really a key to self-esteem and to confidence. So on that piece, one of the key things that we use for processing our thoughts and reflecting on our wins and learning the lessons and letting the rest go is journaling. And I've actually got a free gift for you. So down below in the description, we've got a link to a lion's tail journal. This is a guided journal that has all these different components included in it. It's not just blank pages. It's got a full workbook with all these different steps that will allow you to celebrate your wins, reflect on the lesson, let the rest go, and reflect on everything you're grateful for, which is this like really complex, robust package of this self-love piece and this self-esteem and confidence sort of amazing recipe, right? And so we've got that free link for you below. Journaling is one of the most powerful techniques there are. You can become your own therapist if you do this deep enough and often enough. And put that together for you for free. It's down below in the description. Click on that, use that. It literally changed my life. I love it. So those are the 5 key steps to confidence and self-esteem. I want to tell you, if this really resonated with you, if this is just like, this is what I've been looking for a long time, this speaks directly to me, there's also a link down below where you can schedule a call with me and we can chat a little bit about our mentorship program, our 90-day transformation program. That's really the meat of what we do. That's the robust package where we put everything together, full support and workbooks and courses and everything all together. It's actually what changed my life and allowed me to go through my transformation a few years ago and allowed me to live my ideal life now. It's just incredible. So if this really speaks to you, if it really resonates with you, go ahead and click that link to book a call with me, and we can just chat and see if it's a good fit for you or not. So I will challenge you to make it not one day, but day one today. Jump on these action items, jump on these topics, do some of these, try them out for yourself, download the free journal, sign up for the webinar, book a call if you want to, and just take some action and try it out and see what you're really capable of. Cheers.